Historical handling of autism and Asperger's-like conditions in East Asia. Autism spectrum disorder, ASD, and Asperger's syndrome, now subsumed under ASD in modern diagnostics, are contemporary Western classifications, first formalized in the 20th century. In historical East Asian contexts, conditions resembling these, such as social withdrawal, repetitive behaviors, sensory sensitivities, or exceptional cognitive traits, were not labeled as such. Instead, they were often interpreted through lenses of traditional medicine, Confucian ethics, cosmology, or social norms. Descriptions appear in medical texts, legal codes, and philosophical works under terms like stupidity, madness, quang, idiocy, or imbalances in qi, vital energy. High-functioning traits, for example, intense focus or prodigious memory, might be valorized as scholarly eccentricities, while severe presentations were stigmatized as familial burdens, karmic debts, or demonic influences. Treatment varied by era, class, and severity. Herbal remedies, acupuncture, exorcisms, family confinement, or state welfare in Confucian societies. Marginalization was common in martial cultures like feudal Japan, where conformity was prized. Below, I outline handling across key societies, focusing on historical periods including China's dynasties, Shang to Qing, approximately 1600 BCE, 1912 CE, Japan's feudal samurai era, approximately 1185, 1868 CE, Korea's Joseon dynasty, 1392, 1910 CE, Vietnam's dynastic history, tilde 10 the 19th century CE, and broader medieval East Asia, approximately 500-1500 CE. Evidence is sparse due to oral traditions and destroyed records but draws from surviving texts. China, from Shang to Qing dynasties. China's vast historical record shows evolving views, blending cosmology, medicine, and bureaucracy. Early dynasties emphasized harmony, he, and filial piety. Neurodivergence disrupted this, often attributed to ancestral sins or qi imbalances. Shang to Zhou dynasties, approximately 1600-221 BCE, Bronze Age to early imperial. No direct ASD references but oracle bones from Shang, approximately 1600-1046 BCE, mention madness, or spirit possession treated via shamanistic rituals and sacrifices. In the Zhou dynasty, 1046-221 BCE, children with intellectual disabilities were noted as stupid, a child born stupid and fearful, implying social isolation or infanticide in agrarian families, though elite texts like the Book of Zhou Rites advocate protection for the feeble-minded, under Confucian precursors. Han Dynasty, 206 BCE, 220 CE, early imperial. Medical texts like the Huangdi Neijing, Yellow Emperor's Inner Canon, approximately 200 BCE, describe autism-like symptoms, for example, speech delays, withdrawal, as phlegm dampness obstructing the heart-mind, Xin. Treatments included herbal decoctions, for example ginseng for qi tonification, and moxibustion. Prodigious savants with hyperfocus were valued. Wang Chong's Lunheng, 1st century CE, depicts isolated, ritualistic behaviors resembling ASD, sometimes as heavenly idiots with divine insight, employed in imperial courts for calculations or astronomy. Medieval period, Tang to Song dynasties, 618-1279 CE. Buddhism and Taoism influenced views. Madness was treated at monasteries with meditation or exorcism. State exams, Keiju, accommodated eccentric scholars, potentially including Asperger's-like traits, for example obsessive study. The Compendium of Materia Medica, Song era, prescribes acupuncture for infantile fright, seizure-like episodes akin to meltdowns. Ming to Qing dynasties, 1368-1912 CE, Confucian orthodoxy hardened stigma, disabled children were hidden to preserve family honor. Qing legal codes allowed confinement or institutionalization in Yangzhengyuan, charity homes. Traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, evolved, using formulas like Buyang Huanwu for behavioral regulation, though applied retrospectively to ASD symptoms. Elite savants, for example mad poets, were romanticized, but low-functioning individuals faced neglect or sale into servitude. Overall treatments were holistic via TCM, diet, herbs, acupuncture, but social handling prioritized concealment over inclusion. Japan, feudal samurai culture, Kamakura to Edo periods, approximately 1185-1868 CE. Japan's warrior ethos, Bushido, emphasized group harmony, wa, and stoicism, marginalizing nonconformists. Mental differences were seen as key spirit disruptions, influenced by Shinto, Buddhism, and imported Chinese medicine. Heian to Kamakura periods, 794-1333 CE, early medieval. The Taiho Code, 701 CE, mandated community care for the mad with families responsible. Severe cases exiled to remote islands or temples for rituals. Autism-like withdrawal might be interpreted as mono-no-aware, pathological sensitivity, treated with herbal baths or onmyodo, yin-yang divination. Muromachi to Sengoku, 1336-1603 CE, warring states. In samurai clans, non-martial traits, for example sensory overload in battle, led to ostracism or ritual suicide, seppuku, to avoid dishonor. Eccentric retainers with hyper-focus, for example on strategy, were tolerated if useful, per tales in the Tale of the Heike. Edo period, 1603-1868 CE, height of feudalism. Tokugawa shogunate laws permitted family confinement of lunatics in home cells, tamagoyaku, with government seizure if violent. Kampo, Chinese-derived medicine, used ginseng and licorice for heart fire imbalances mimicking ASD anxiety. Samurai culture shunned visible differences. High-functioning individuals might channel traits into arts like tea ceremony, but overall, handling was privatized and punitive. Medieval Japan, tilde 12th to 16th centuries, saw neurodivergence as karmic, with temple asylums providing minimal care amid feudal instability. Korea, Goryeo to Joseon dynasties, approximately 918-1910 CE, Confucian filial piety, Huayo, drove welfare, but hierarchy stigmatized deviation. Joseon era focused on moral cultivation, disabilities were heaven's will. Goryeo dynasty, 918-1392 CE medieval, Buddhist influence led to monastery care for the foolish. State granaries aided families. Historical accounts describe village idiots integrated via communal labor. Joseon dynasty, 1392-1910 CE. Neo-Confucianism praised aiding the disabled as virtue. King Sejong's annals, 15th century, document exemptions from taxes and corvée for the lame and blind, extending to intellectual cases. Early benevolence, Inje, included Suryangwon, welfare institutes, for orphans and disabled. By the 19th century, stricter policies confined madmen in Goyangso, poorhouses, fostering discrimination. Treatments drew from TCM, acupuncture for phlegm obstruction causing speech issues, high-functioning traits aligned with scholarly Yangban ideals, but autism-like behaviors risked labeling as unfilial. In medieval Korea, tilde 10 to 14th centuries, handling balanced welfare with isolation, prioritizing social order. Vietnam, Lai to Nguyen dynasties, approximately 1009-1945 CE, influenced by Chinese models and animism, Vietnam viewed differences as ancestral curses or tam kam, karmic debt. Historical records are scarcer due to wars. Lai to Tran dynasties, 1009-1400 CE medieval, Confucian codes mandated family care, madness treated via herbalism, Thuoc Nam, and spirit mediums, Thay Boi. Autism-like isolation seen as ma, ghost possession, exercise communally. Lei to Nguyen dynasties, 1428-1945 CE, Dai Viet laws echoed China's, with village support for disabled. 19th century French colonial texts note confinement in family homes. Traditional medicine used ginger turmeric pastes for brain fog. Modern echoes persist in acupuncture for ASD. Stigma framed it as family shame, leading to hiding or infanticide in rural areas. Medieval Vietnam, tilde 11th to 15th centuries, integrated animist rituals with less institutionalization than neighbors. Broader medieval East Asian culture, approximately 500-1500 CE, across Tang China, Haiyan Japan, Goryeo Korea, and Dai Viet Vietnam, neurodivergence was medicalized via imported Indian Chinese systems, imbalances treated with diet, herbs and needling. Socially, Confucian elites provided sporadic welfare, for example tax relief, but martial, feudal pressures marginalized nonconformists. Samurai shunned weak minds, while peasants relied on kinship. Buddhist temples offered sanctuary, viewing traits as illusions, maya. No unified treatment, instead a mix of tolerance for savants and exclusion for the visibly different, contrasting Europe's witch hunts, but sharing stigma. Society key historical handling, medieval focus, approximately 500-1500 CE, China TCM herbs acupuncture, court roles for savants, family hiding, key imbalances via Neijing, temple exorcisms, Japan, family confinement, Kampo rituals, exile for severe cases, Taiho laws, Shinto purification, Korea, Confucian welfare institutes, tax exemptions, Buddhist monasteries, communal aid, Vietnam, animist exorcism, village support, Confucian codes, herbal thuoc nam. These patterns reflect cultural priorities, harmony over individualism, with modern echoes and ongoing TCM use for ASD. For deeper dives, consult texts like the Huangdi Neijing or Joseon Annals.